We're recording the hard part.
You can just flip one day and just say,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, conditional probability. Here are your two formulas. Okay, for conditional probability. Okay. So this is the probability of B given A. Okay. So probability of B happening given that A's already happened. And I'm just reading how to read this part. The probability of B happening given that line, it means the word given, A occurs. So the probability is A intersects B divided by the probability of A. You can also do it the other way around, where you put the probability of B at the bottom and you get the same answer.
Your brackets on the one side look like C, so it always confuses me.
Okay. So, right now there's a lot of potatoes going on in the room, which is fine. Who's a potato right now? Okay. Once we get into the question, it actually makes sense. Okay?
Does that mean confused?
Yeah, potato means I have no idea what's going on.
Potato is
Like there's thumb up, thumb down, thumb middle, and then there's potato. I got it from like there's a video of one kid, and he's like, oh, like show me how to count to 5, and he's like 1, 2, 3, potato. So I always took it as like if you know, it's a video of some kid counting, and he counts, and then includes potato in his numbers. So I figure if you have no idea what you're doing, you, yeah. No, he didn't say potato. He's not cool.
how you're supposed to say it. Regular English.
Okay.
You said potato. Potato.
So, I'm half convinced, don't tell Ms. Thornburg, but I don't know, I think this note's wrong. But it works out right. I know. But it works out right. I have no clue, because this question doesn't make sense. Yeah. I will. I'll try it by myself and see if I get it.
Yeah, and then when you get it right, go rub it in Miss Thornburg's face.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, so let's go back to the first question. Okay? So if you remember what we did before, the probability of getting a queen given we have a face card. Right? Does that make sense, everyone? Probability of getting a queen given we have a face card. So that equals the probability of queen intersecting face card divided by probability of a face card. Okay? This is where I get lost in here. Because she has 4 over 52, which is the probability of getting a queen overall. So what was that before? That was 4 over 12, right? Let's stick with 4 over 52. That should be probability of getting, like through any cards. Okay? Then we work through the numbers. Now, if you don't have a calculator, how do you divide fractions again? You flip the second fraction and you multiply. That's how you divide fractions.
How did people figure that out? Yeah.
I'll go through that after. It's not a pressing concern for me right now. Okay? So, it's really easy to see with a visual.
Okay.
Right? Once you see the visual, then the math pops to you. Okay? Let's look at the next page.
It was cut off at the top.
Okay? I'm going to flip to the next page because these questions here.
Wait, can you just go up? Oh, one.
Okay. So the question here is, suppose in Mathville, the probability of a day will be both cloudy and rainy is 25%. Okay? Suppose further that 50% of all days are cloudy. Determine the probability it'll rain given it is cloudy. So if we write down our conditions here. Let C be the event that is cloudy. Let R be the event that it rains. Does that make sense? Now, we're trying to find out if it's rain given it's cloudy. We're thumbs up so far? Rain given it's cloudy. So the formula that we use is probability of rain intersects with clouds divided by the probability that it's cloudy. What's the probability that rain and clouds occur on the same day? 25%, correct? Cloudy and rainy is 25%. So what goes on top is 25.25, as in 25%, right? No. And then what percent of days, what's the probability of just cloudy happening? 50%. That goes on the bottom.
Does that mean 75% of all the days in Nashville?
No.
Cloudy or rainy?
No. That 25 is within that 50.
That means 50%
Right?
of all the days.
So therefore, 0.25 divided by 0.5 is 0.5. Okay, so the probability it will rain given it's cloudy if it is 50%.
How is it 0.5?
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay,
What was the number up top?
0.25.
So,
Yes.
but
Because math person is
if it's asking just generally, not when it's
0.25
cloudy,
divided by
how many
0.5.
times will it rain? Would it still be 0.25?
Correct.
Okay.
But this is like it's
How are the...
It says there that half the days that it's cloudy, it's gonna rain.
I'll break down the magic of 0.25 divided by 0.5 later. Okay, just trust your calculator. Right? If you ever divide anything by 0.5, you times it by 2. Okay?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Now, how I always think about it is like, how would I say this? Like 4 divided by a half. Whatever the bottom is there, you can't have a bottom of the bottom, so the bottom goes to the top and becomes a multiply. That's how I always thought about it. You can't have a bottom of a bottom. Yeah. 4 divided by 0.5 is 8. Okay. So do you guys see how we use the formula there?
Yes.
Right? Yes. Correct. Yeah, you'll be given the formulas. Right?
He's going to play the video.
Okay.
He's going to play the countdown video for me. We're just this.
Let's do one more of these questions. Let's do a homework question from this. Okay? As a practice.
I actually don't find this terribly difficult.
Oh,
You were right, Mr. It does make more sense now that we're doing the questions.
you just wait.
Awesome. I love when Matthew says that. You just wait. Yeah. It's quiet. It's quiet before the storm. This isn't too hard. You just wait.
Okay. Let's look here. This one here gave me a little difficulty last night, but
The math teacher's difficulty.
it won't be that bad. Okay.
I got it.
So 5A. The question didn't give me difficulty. There's a little nuance within there that you just have to see. That's why I'm doing 5A with you, so you can see the nuance when it comes to 5B. So, from a medical study of 10,000 male patients, it was found 2,500 were smokers. 720 of the 10,000 died of lung cancer.
This question was clearly made in the midst.
And of these who died of lung cancer, 610 were smokers. Okay? So what's the probability of dying of lung cancer given you're a smoker?
This is a really dark math question.
Okay? So we're looking for the probability. Now we have to set what our probabilities mean. So I'm going to go up here and say, let's say the probability of, what should we say of, am I allowed to give it 2 letters? I'm going to do DS. Because dying of lung cancer, but they also have to be smokers in this question. So, how many people died who were smokers? No, this, right? No, that's given. they're a smoker. Right? What? This is the trick that I found last night within. Right? And we'll just go S for smokers. So what's the probability of dying as a smoker is 610. Actually, that's 610 over 720. Right? Then the probability of being a smoker is
2,500 over 7.
good. So our formula, right? The probability of DS given S, right? Dying of lung cancer while being a smoker, right? Which will be the probability of the intersection between these two. Oops. Intersects smoker. I'm going to hop to my answers to make sure I have this right.
Less than 3.
Conditional.
Condition?
Conditional, isn't it? Conditional probability. Yes, Adam?
Oh, I'm just stretching.
All right. I think that's my intersection up there. I think I wrote that wrong. If I'm not mistaken. That'd be my intersection of dying of lung cancer and being a smoker, this number.
So what's the wrong? Oh.
I'm going to hop to the answers just to make sure I'm leading you guys the right way. This is 5A, right? Oh, 610 over 1,000. 10,000. Okay. Oops. So this first one is 610 over 10,000, not 720. Because that's the probability within the total population, right? So that's going to be 610 over 10,000 divided by 2500 over 10,000.
Or you can just get the answers of both of those and then divide them.
Yeah. So if you want to do this on your calculator, you could also just do this. If you don't have a fraction button, you could go 610 divided by 10,000. Backspace. You should put brackets around these guys. So it does that first, and then go divide by bracket 2500 divided by 10.
Wouldn't it do it first anyway, because that's right?
Maybe, but I like to make sure,
Okay.
right? Pardon? I divided by this number down here.
I like how this is like just a potential calculator. This is like the actual like,
Oops.
picture of the calculator that it's instead of just like a series of buttons.
Does that make sense?
Sorry, so what would we get?
Did we get the right answer?
Yep.
Does it match what the answer is here?
Yeah.
61 over 250. Yeah. Does that make sense how I worked it within the question? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle. Okay. It'll take a little while to kind of figure out which one. Okay, so let's go back to our note. So now we can also rearrange this formula. to create a different formula. Okay? And as Dante said earlier, this is the AND formula. Okay, so that's your key word for this one. Okay, is AND. Okay? So all we did here was, if you rearrange it, we took this part over here, and we moved it to the other side here. So we can solve for the union, the intersection of it. Okay? So if I roll down here, what's the probability of drawing 2 aces in a row from a well-shuffled deck of 52 playing cards? First thing you're going to say here is, Mr. O, this doesn't say and, you lied to me. Right? But think of it like of a sequence of one event and then another event happening. Right? I pull one card and then I pull another card. Okay? It's not a given question. Okay? So, if we go back to our formula here, now we set out what each one means, A and B. As you can see, when I was working with some people, I changed the letters A and B to be something more obvious, right? Like S, or I forget what other questions I was doing earlier, where I just changed that letter. But write it down what each probability means. In this case, you say A is the first ace and B is the second ace. So what's the probability of pulling the first ace out of a deck? What's the probability of pulling an ace out of a deck? 4 over 52. Then what's the probability of pulling the second one out? 3 over 51. And we just multiply those together to get our answer.
That's so much easier.
Right? In this case, it's 1 over 221 chance. So you could deal cards 221 times, and twice you would deal 2 aces back to back. Okay? Let's do another example off homework for that one. Okay? So we go back to our homework.
So you don't care which method we use?
Oh, I care, because only one's doable. You can only do one or the other, because those are 2 different questions.
Oh.
Right? Does that make sense? Like for the first question, if you think about how, like pulling a queen, given we have a face card in our hand. Okay? So how about this one? A person is chosen randomly from shoppers at a department store. If the person's probability of having blonde hair is 2 out of 25, and the probability of them wearing glasses is 9 out of 25, determine, oh, this is the question we did earlier. Let's do this one anyways. First of all,
Hold on. Could you just do this really easy and do like 11 out of 50?
let's see if the answer is that.
Okay.
So first things first. What's the probability of having a blonde hair given they're wearing glasses? Okay? What's going to go on top?
Probability of blonde intersected with glasses.
Now I've confused myself. So, blonde hair given they're wearing glasses. Given they're wearing glasses. Glasses are going to go on the bottom, right? So probability of blonde given glasses, right? So probability of glasses will go on the bottom. So whatever the second one is, goes to the bottom. Although you could change up either way, right? Then the probability of blonde will be on top. Okay? Do I have that set right? So what did I say? 9 over 25 is on top? Divided by 2 over 25? Let's double check my logic. Did I do that backwards? I think so. Let's see if we get the same answer. It won't be. Or will it? I guarantee it won't be. Let me find my answer here first, then I'll go back and fix it. 9 over 25 divided by 2 over 25. Oops. $18 is not a viable answer. Why is 18 not a viable answer? What's the highest probability you can get? Pardon? 1. Right? Yeah. If you don't have a fraction button. Oh, damn it. My bad. 2. Let's see. 2. Oh my gosh. Now I'm all flustered. 2 over 25 divided by 9 over 25 equals 2 over 9. Which is our answer right there.
Did you have to do that because they have the same denominator?
So I was wrong. Yeah.
Say that again?
They have the same denominator.
No, you still have to, like if I was doing this by hand, it would be 2 over 25 divided by 9 over 25.
Exactly.
And I'd have to flip the second one and multiply.
Yeah, so can't you just do that instead of doing that whole big?
Well, no, you have to set this up first, right? To know what goes on top and bottom.
That's confusing.
All right, let's do this one here. What's the probability of getting dealt 2 clubs in a row from a well-shuffled deck without replacing the first card drawn? Right? So we're looking at this formula here, our second formula, correct? I will do it right in here. So what's the probability? Where's this part? The probability of 2 clubs, right? So if I said A union B, I'd have to say that A is the first club and B is the second club, right? Which equals PA, right? And P B given A. So what does that mean? What am I, the probability of getting a club, correct, would be this part. This part here is the probability of my second one being a club given my first was a club. So I would like to do this, I usually do it backwards. What's the probability of pulling a club right away?
Or
13 over, or 1 over 4, right? Because 1 over 4 cards is going to be club. Or 13 over 52. Either one's right. Okay? What's the probability of the second one being a club? How many clubs do we have left in our deck? If we pull 1 club out, if we had 13 before, I'll do this one here first. I'll do 13 over 52. So this is going to be 12 over
yeah, because Queen, King, Jack.
51.
Plus the ace. Because the ace is 1. So ace is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is 10 cards plus a queen, a jack, and a king.
Okay? 1 over 17 would be my.
And then you just divide 1 by 17 that you want to leave.
Yeah, you can leave probability as a fraction as well. You can leave.
But this one you get a 0 decimal 0, so this is 1 0 would be the rest.
Yeah, even so. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys?
A little bit. The
It's
formula's a
really
little
hard to
confusing,
set
but
Yeah. The hard part will be like as you go through this, which one do I do?
yeah, that's my.
Right? Or how do I set? That's why this 5 was difficult because you had to kind of like figure out like for the lung cancer thing here, you had to figure out how many died of who were of the smokers and how many died of the other ones. It's how to set it up and practice along those lines.
Once you have the numbers, it's
Yeah, and I'll make it obvious for you guys, especially for like tomorrow. We're gonna have a quiz at the end of the day on the first 2 sections. Now, I'll leave it open book, right? You guys have your notes and everything for it. I'll make it obvious for given and or and those type of things. Okay, it won't be on what we learn tomorrow morning.
What's union for? Union for or?
Unions for or, yeah,
And then the other one's for and.
yeah. These 2 are for and given.
Okay.
Given this happens, what's the probability of this occurring after, right? And then the and is kind of like has the given in it because something has to happen first for something else and to happen.
Right.
That's why those 2 to go together. Okay? How are we feeling? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle?
This one's confusing.
This one's confusing.
Everything else is fine.
Yeah. All right. Practice away. There's a good number of questions. But you can see like question 17, given, right? Those are the key words you're trying to pull out. And sometimes it may not be exactly there, but you'll understand this has to happen first. And next thing. See there, this one here has the word and in it. See that, Megan? Right? And an ace. Right? And. Right?
So which one is and which one is or? Sorry?
Or was the lesson before lunch.
Okay.
And was the multiplication one we just went over. Given was the division.
Okay.
Okay?
It's a lot to remember.
Yeah. The one I did with 3. It was 1 over 17. Well, they did it. No, where'd we go? This one? Oh, for 3. You asked 3, right? Let's take a look at that one. Let me go back to it. They did some indirect reasoning on the bottom half of that. I'm going to erase Adam's work here. Adam, you want me to leave that there?
Sure.
And let me go to Mia. Mia. Ooh, should I check out Mia's work on this?
I wrote till 8 a.m.
Where is it? Oh,
I just met 100
So
people
when
and I
people
like
are
counted
hitting
each one
the
individually.
oh, okay.
And
We
I
understand.
like,
You understand now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did Bucket use franchise tag Chris Godwin, the receiver?
Pardon?
The best linebacker who won a free agency, because you could only franchise tag one person.
Like the actual basketball tournament?
They franchise tag
no,
one
she got
person.
minutes due.
But they
Oh.
also have their linebacker, Levante.
I don't know, get it in. Yeah. Like I don't want the last week of school, but I'm not in a rush for it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Okay.
Do they get massive offers?
So Tia and Jerry tossing 2 coins. Tia wins both coins. Tia wins when both coins turn up tails. The coins are tossed, but roll under the chair. Jerry looks under the chair and seeing both coins says, at least one of them are tails. What's the probability that Tia wins? Okay. So probability of, what should be our 2 things here? What they label theirs as?
This is Dak Prescott. Never forget this Dak Prescott. He missed, then he was success.
Probably would be both tails or at least one tail.
That Curry shooting form isn't best.
No, Klay Thompson is the best shooting form ever.
That is true. I told my dad that. The only person that can contend is Curry.
If you were to look at like pictures of what your shooting form should look like, it's literally just Klay Thompson shooting. He has the perfect face where it goes like this.
And the little just.
Yeah, it's like Mr. O's.
It shows like a Larry Bird / Dominique Wilkins. No comment on that one? I think Dominique Wilkins is the best.
What was the answer for it? Probability of both is 1 over 4. Correct? What is it, 2 over 3? 1 over 3? Probability of both being is 1 over 4. Do you agree with that? Right? And at least one. Do they go 1 minus 1/2? 1 minus a quarter. Oh, at least one of the 4. 1 would be our total, right? Minus 1 over 4 for at least one of them. But why did they ask that? Pardon?
Is there a hand in tonight, Mr. O?
No. As of right now, no.
Maybe a basketball thing, I think.
It's probably the only time for the next few weeks.
What?
It's supposed to get cold again.
I don't know what. I'll just put my car on mine. No, but that's not.
It's the only time the weather went
Liked it? I did, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, man.
I understand in my head what I'm doing. I don't understand how to explain it right now. Does that make sense? Pardon? No, I'm getting there. Because the probability of both being heads would be 1 out of 4. Right? The probability of the second one being heads, right? If you think about it, knowing right? These are our 4 options. Right? So the probability of both being head would be 1 over 4, correct? The probability of one of these, what's the question? Probably at least one tail is 1 out of 4. I'm gonna look. I'll have an answer for you tomorrow. I can't put it together. Well, that wouldn't be on your test then. Does that make sense?
Can we just do the simple questions then?
No.
Come on.
Well, let's take a look to see if there's any other ones I can't put together. A bag contains, yeah. So this number 6 one would be a multiplication one, right? Because it's kind of a sequence question. 2 red marbles at random if the first marble is not replaced. Right? Number 7.
And your attention staff and students, please prepare at this time for dismissal.
Is there a question like that? The rest of them are multiplication questions. All right.
I'm probably.
I'll come back tomorrow with more of the second type. The rest of them are all multiplication questions. I'll come back tomorrow with some more of the given questions, right? If that makes sense. To have more practice with it.